How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan. Today we got to talk about Killer Mike and the, I guess, sort of infamous on the internet's NRA video that he did with my man Coleon Noir. I don't know him personally. I just like his content. Shout out to him. I'll link to the NRATV channel in the box below. Also a link to Coleon Noir's page. Definitely a great person, but I'll move on to the actual topic at hand, and that is the Killer Mike interview. Now, I was ready to praise Killer Mike. I was saying, hey, good job, boss. You did a good thing. You're coming from the liberal perspective, trying to meet a conservative in the middle. We need more of that, especially among our black brothers. Yeah. But then he went and pretty much reneged on all that he said, acting like they used it improperly. What I'm going to do right now is go ahead and just play a snippet of the NRA interview, and I'll post the full thing in the box below so you'll be able to see it for yourself. But in this snippet, you'll hear the things that Killer Mike said that apparently got him in trouble, or maybe he regretted saying. This was recorded 1 week before the March for Our Lives thing, but it was after it was announced, if I'm not mistaken, because he was talking about the march in this clip. So after we get done with that, I'll talk about that specifically. Then I'll show you his retraction, and then I'll talk about this in a larger scope and put a nice cherry on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
My daughter goes to Savannah State University. There was also a shooting on that campus. Talked to my wife and daughter after that. The decision was, we're going to go to Savannah. She's going to get a gun and train more. Wakanda, everybody had guns and spears and everything else you needed. I told my kids on the school walkout, I love you. If you walk out that school, walk out my house.
All right, so you saw that. You see what's going on. Now, I thought that was great. That exchange right there, it wasn't just selective editing. That's pretty much how the interview went. And like I said, the full interview will be in the box. If you want to see it for yourself, don't got to take my word for it. But that was great. He was saying, hey, in Wakanda, everybody had guns. So he's coming from the liberal perspective. He may be a fan of Eric Killmonger. And you know the whole thing about that, how he was kind of way far on the left. He may be a fan of that leftist stuff, but he can come right towards the center and understand that gun rights are essential to protect yourself against whoever you think the foe may be. Where you think it's probably the KKK or the gangbanger down the street, whoever you think the foe is, if it's a legitimate threat and you want to protect yourself against them, then we have an actual median ground we can work upon. Left, right, it doesn't matter. We can find ourselves right in the center based upon a common purpose and a common goal, which is to preserve the Second Amendment. Now, I was all with him. He was talking about the March for Our Lives, talking about don't go. If you go, you might as well just get out my house. Boom. But then I guess he got some kind of backlash. I guess he got some kind of kickback, and all that he was saying went out the window. Check this video out from his Instagram and you'll see him basically issue a retraction. I can't tell if he was reading or what, but whatever the case is, he went back on all of what he said. So without further ado, go ahead and roll this.
My interview with said organization, who we all don't agree with, was supposed to be something that continued a conversation or that helped the conversation happen that I felt needed to happen. And that conversation is about African-American gun ownership. Why is that even important in these times? Well, African-Americans have only been free for 54 years. Up until 54 years ago, we were in virtual apartheid, and some would argue that we still are today. Because of that, some of our nuances are subtly different than allies we have, and we have to always remember that in our allyship, we still have to make sure that there are certain rights and demands that we make for us in our community. That's all my interview was about. It was not in contrast to your march. It was done well a week before your march. It should never have been used in contrast to your march, and I think it's wrong. To the young people that worked tirelessly to organize, I'm sorry adults chose to do this. Sorry NRATV did that. I'm sorry that adults on the left and the right are choosing to use me as a lightning rod. What I want to encourage you guys to do is keep organizing. Keep organizing, keep organizing. Plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize. This world was far different 30 years ago when you could buy a machine gun. And it's far different now, and it'll be different 30 years from now. We're willing to follow your lead the way. So I do support the march, and I support black people owning guns. It's possible to do both. I wanted to make sure that my words were heard. I wanted to make sure I was clear in what I was saying. And I wanted to make sure that you knew that what I did had nothing to do with disparaging you. I love and respect you all. Love and respect you and commend you for your work. Keep marching for our lives. Keep pushing on.
Okay, so you heard that. You heard him take back all of what he said. The thing I don't like is that I think he lied right here, because he was saying that the NRA used it improperly and the video was done 1 week before the March for Our Lives thing. But okay, here's my thing. They didn't take anything said out of context. Number one, you're talking to a black man, so you can't do the whole race card thing. He didn't do that here, but nobody can, because that's not what it was. It was a conversation between two black men about gun rights that come from different sides of the political spectrum. The second thing is, he expressly said to his kids or daughter, whoever it was, if you walk out during the march, walk out of my house. He said that expressly. Now all of a sudden he wants to apologize to the people of the march. You said it on camera. Why would you say it on camera if you didn't want it to come out? He's saying that it was done the week before to try and allude to the fact that they were holding it for a long time. But it wasn't a long time. It was a week. I mean, for a video, it may need that long to edit and to put it out at the appropriate time. At the time it was recorded, the March for Our Lives thing was already on, as far as I know. That's why he was talking about it. So if you're talking about the March for Our Lives, what's wrong with them releasing it right on that day? Maybe he wanted it to be released before the march or a long time after the march, so he couldn't be held accountable for what he said. But he said what he said. I think the reason why he retracted what he said is because he got a lot of pressure from friends and family and also professional relationships. Understand this. He is a far leftist, Bernie Sanders type guy, doesn't even like Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, those kind of people. He is all the way over there. Matter of fact, he was campaigning with Bernie Sanders, and I'll place a picture right here on the screen before you. So you probably got a few calls and say, you know what, Killer Mike, you're doing too much talking to the NRA. Those are our enemies. If you talk to them, you are not our ally. I'll place an article in the box below. It was all kind of comments from black writers, from so-called progressive writers, people in music, all kind of people. A guy did a YouTube video, a very popular musical guy, did a video about him, talking about disagrees with him, this, that, and the third. So I think that's why he issued this retraction. And this points to a bigger issue among black folks that have any kind of inkling of conservatism. You may be a far leftist and happen to agree with a conservative. It doesn't matter what color the person is you agree with. If they are on the other side, it's like the enemy of my friend is my enemy, that type of thing. So I think that he got a call, and this happens a lot to black people that want to associate with anybody on the right. You get shamed into disavowing them. Oh, you're a black person, how could you? The white people hate you, the conservatives, Republicans hate you, they would be your slave masters, that, and the third. I think that's the same thing that happened to Seal. Remember when he talked about Oprah Winfrey, when the whole kerfuffle with Harvey Weinstein broke out? Oprah put out some kind of message on social media or on television, and then Seal on his social media page, I think it was on his Facebook page, came out and said, you want to be our sanctimonious right now, talking about this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, you're right here with the monster, Harvey Weinstein. And I'll place a picture of Oprah and Harvey Weinstein on the screen before you. And if I can find the original post that Seal had, I'll place that in the box below as well. But Seal's talking about, you are sanctimonious, but you're with Harvey Weinstein. You're part of the problem. Now, all of a sudden, after people saw what he said, used it and said, hey, look at him. He got on Fox News. I think I talked about it. A lot of us on the conservative side appreciated what he said because it lines with our beliefs. After he got some backlash, probably some calls from some friends and family, maybe some industry people, all of a sudden, he's going back on social media, making a video talking about Stacey Dash, keep my name out your mouth. Fox News, keep my name out your mouth. He did a total 180 from what he said. And, you know, it's really a shame that you got these men, grown men now, fully grown adult men, not little boys like the Parkland shooting people. I'm talking about grown men in their 40s and 50s have to kowtow to people that pressure them into changing the way that they believe. I would never change how I believe for anybody. I'm going to be myself. If you like it, I love it. If you don't, then I'm sorry, I can't help you. That's the way it should be. But I think these people in Hollywood, music industry, acting, whatever it is, they are bound to certain people that give them their lifestyle. if they go against these people, then the lifestyle is gone. So they may weigh it like this. On one hand, I could just state my beliefs, be strong in it, and not have anybody tell me anything, or I can just put my personal beliefs to the side, at least in public, and do whatever they tell me to do, so I keep getting my money, so I can keep feeding my family, so I can keep living the way I like to live. You know, teach his own, but I'd rather die on my feet and live on my knees. So what do you think? Do you think that Killer Mike issued these retractions because of the backlash? It was all kind of stuff said about him. You know, it don't take much for a black person to be called an Uncle Tom, coon, sellout, just because they have a difference of opinion. I like to be able to have people on my channel in real life, when I'm talking to them face to face, I like to have conversations with people that don't really agree with me, and we can just have some kind of middle ground. I can start over here, they can start over here, and we can meet at a common place and agree on that. I still may be over here at the end of the day, and they may still be over there, but at the end of the day, we could still come right here for that moment and agree on that and shake hands as men, women, or whatever it is. That's the way it should be. But unfortunately, if you're a black person, you get the most racism, hatred, and vitriol from your own people. It shouldn't be like that. We should be sticking together. That's how Jews do it. That's how they have so much money. But that's a whole different story, and I digress. But I want to know your opinion about this. Do you think it was because of his race? It's the shaming tactics that are used against him because he's black. Do you think it's because he's in the music industry, Hollywood? Is it a combination of all the above? What about Seal? Is it the same thing as Killer Mike? And I've seen other people, just in general, not necessarily celebrities, but regular, everyday normies get caught in that same trap. As I close, for real, I want to say this, and then I'm gone. Don't let anybody coerce you, bully you, or con you into doing a thing that you don't want to do. Live life for yourself. Respect yourself. Now, I'm not saying don't respect others and don't listen to others and don't hear other people. By all means, do those things. But just because you hear somebody and listen to them does not give them the right to tell you how to behave and how to live as a sovereign adult. That decision is solely upon you. I think Killer Mike and Seal, unfortunately, have fallen into the category of allowing others to dictate their life rather than being men who can stand upon their own wishes and their own whims. I think maybe they made a decision and said, you know what, I'm getting all kind of negative feedback. It may affect my money, and that's fine. But you got to ask yourself what's more important, to be able to be yourself whenever you want, or to allow others to bully you into doing something different. Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.